Welcome to another episode of Wicked Car Stories. I'm Laura Remus, and today I'm with Darrell Bergeron. He's invited us into his garage to check out his amazing car collection. Hi, Darrell. How are you today?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Tell us, what are we going to see? What do you have for us?
So I have a few cars. I used to have a lot more, but life changes, and now I have a few less. But I have 5 cars in my collection now. I've got a 92 Mustang GT that I've owned since brand new. I've got a 2020 Shelby GT500 carbon fiber track pack. I've got a 67 Shelby GT350 that was actually built by all my buddies and I right here in the garage on jack stands. That car took gold at Muscat Corvette Nationals. And then I have a 70 Torino GT convertible and a 1923 Dodge Touring car that my dad bought when I was about 10 years old.
That is an amazing collection. Let's take a look at it. You want to start here?
Sure.
Watching Wicked Car Stories. Stay tuned for more videos.
Let's uncover it. It's a little bit taller than your average car.
Wow. Want to grab this side?
Sure. Easier. This was a lesson learned. Make sure that if you're going to put the top down, that you have the stanchions on here to support the top before you drive it down the road. Now I have some more repairs to do.
All the way over?
Keep right here and keep off the ground. Let me come around that side.
So tell us a little bit about this one. How long have you had it for?
So this car is Baby. And Baby was affectionately named by my mother when I was about 10 years old. My dad bought this. This was the first classic car that we ever had in the family. It's actually a 1923 Dodge Touring car. It has wooden wheels on it and actually has a factory 12-volt system in it, which was unheard of back in the 20s. Typically everything was 6-volt, but this is a factory 12-volt. It is running and driving. We actually took it out for pictures last year, but it hasn't really been out this summer. And it's probably got a 60-year-old paint job on it.
It looks amazing. 60 years old. I wish mine looked like that. Not quite that old.
Not quite. This hasn't been restored, so it's got some age to it. But this is what it looked like, back in the day. The other side has the carburetor, which is a giant apparatus, and kind of had to re-educate myself on how simple it is to be able to figure it out. But yeah, this is Baby. And this is one of the ones that will never be sold. My mother has actually threatened death upon me if it did. So this won't be going anywhere.
Okay, car number 1.
And car number 2, this is one Mark has seen before. This is my 1967 Shelby GT350. And this was built in the garage here back in 2013 by my buddies and I. Always been a dream car of mine, wanted it since I was a kid. Finally was able to get one, but when I got it, it wasn't exactly up to the quality of what I wanted to be or what any of my buddies would want it to be. So we started looking at it and ended up turning it into a full-blown nut and bolt restoration in record time, because I decided in July, no, whatever 3.5 months was before the Muscat Corvette Nationals in November, I decided I wanted this car ready for that show. My buddies all thought I was nuts, but they all jumped on board, helped me out, and we got it done. We finished it up at 4 o'clock in the morning, the day that had to be loaded into the show. Took it to the show. When it got to the show, I still had a Sharpie to-do list on the windshield. Still had metal flakes on it from grinding. Spent the next 8 hours cleaning the car and getting it ready for the show, and the results were that it came in with gold. So I was very happy with that. Looks great considering I think 3 days before we were done with it, the front clip wasn't painted yet. There was no interior in it. There was no rear end in it. I think it turned out pretty well. So this is a numbers matching original Shelby GT350. The original drivetrain, engine, suspension are all on the shelf over there. But this is a 427 side oiler. I started out with an NOS block in Cosmoline, stroked it out to a 482, dual quads, quick fuel carbs on it, full forged interior or internals. It's got a Tremec TKO 600. It has the Streeter Track suspension on it, which is a fantastic suspension built by a buddy of mine, Sean. Has a full floater Fab 9 rear end in it, big brakes, four-wheel disc all around, coilovers all around. The car is just an absolute beast. And if you wanted to, we can raise it up. You can see the bottom of it too. But you know, everything has been done on this car from end to end. The exterior and interior have been restored to as original specs. However, the drivetrain and suspension are to give it a little bit more of a fun ride. So as opposed to having about 300 horsepower from the original 289, it now has 700 horsepower from the 427. When I built the house, the framer asked me if I cared if I went 9.5 foot ceilings instead of 10 foot ceilings because it would fix the roof line a little bit better. And I said, what difference does 6 inches make? It'll be fine. That 6 inches makes all the difference in the world right now because I could really use it to get this up another 6 inches because I have to play car Tetris if I want to try to get everything over on this side. Doesn't work very well.
Okay, so tell us what we have under here.
This, and actually let me move a couple of these trees out of the way. Do a little bit more.
That is beautiful.
Watch your head, please.
Yeah, I'm not gonna knock myself out. That would be something. That would be a great one for the bloopers.
So, like I said, if I had a little bit more ceiling height, you could walk underneath it. So you're gonna have to squat a little bit if you want to see it. But you know what you're looking at, if you want to check out the bottom of it, is everything was completely restored. We actually put a whole new one-piece floor in here. The bottom of the car is painted in the original red oxide, and you'll see that some of this has just got overspray on it. That's as factory would have been, so that's done intentionally. The goal was, like I said, to try to get the body and interior as close to factory as I could, and the drivetrain a little bit better. So this has four-wheel 13.5-inch rotors all the way around. The suspension is all built by Streeter Track. The transmission is a Tremec TKO 600 with the hydraulic clutch on it. I used to be able to remember all the details of every part on this thing because I designed the engine and then I had it built up in Michigan. But it ended up turning out more horsepower than I thought it was going to, which is great.
So that's not a bad thing, right? It's a fun thing.
It has a 3-inch stainless exhaust all the way through. I have electric cutouts on the exhaust, which are activated by the cigarette lighter. So dumps it out. Car sounds amazing when it's running, and pretty much demands attention.
How often do you drive it?
Nowhere near enough, and my buddies all ride me. One in particular, Jerry Sullivan, rides me very hard to try to drive my cars. And I've actually driven all of them this year for the first time in a long time. But this car doesn't get out very often just because it's not as practical. It's a handful. So I'll take it out to cruise nights, but this isn't really a road trip car. The other car on the other side, that's a road trip car. One of my friend's wives said something to me one time, and I'm like, yep, that's pretty accurate. She's like, so you want a place for everything and everything in its place?
That's the way it should be.
Yes.
It is.
Yes, I do. So, there's still some tweaks I have to do in here. I've got a brand new windshield over in the box over there. Date coated for the car because it's got a small crack in it. So I'll replace the windshield. I need to replace the hood hinges because I won't have to do that. It's about a 98.
Hey, this is Mike Alberts, and you're watching the Wicked Car Stories.
Okay, tell us about car number 3.
So car number 3 is a car that I have wanted for a very long time. It's a 1970 Torino GT convertible with a 351 4-barrel, shaker, hidden headlights, buckets, console. Blue is my favorite color, so I always wanted a blue one. I had one about 15 years ago that I bought from the swap meet at the drag strip, and it just needed way too much work. The whole back end of the car was rotted out, so I ended up selling it to a guy in Canada. And I looked for a good one ever since. And it was either I didn't have the money to afford it or didn't have the time, but I was finally able to get this one. I had a couple of them where I was ready to purchase and had the rug pulled out from under me. So I was really happy to get this one. This one is the original color, which is the dark blue. It is, like I said, 351 4-barrel, shaker car, hidden headlights, buckets, console. It's a fun car. Really solid car. This is completely different than the Shelby. The Shelby is 700 horsepower. This is more of a cruiser than a power car, but it's a great cruiser, and you don't see very many of them around. So I think I have the only convertible in the area, at least that I've seen. I know that there's a couple of other guys that have Cobra or Fastback, but I haven't seen any convertibles. So, but this one, not quite as clean as that, but it'll get there. This one I bought pretty much like this. I've only done a few minor detail things to clean it up, so not the story that the Shelby has. The Shelby was every nut and bolt. This was pretty much bought it as a driver, went and picked it up out in Pennsylvania, and brought it home.
Thank you. Car number 4. They keep coming.
This is my latest acquisition. So I bought this about 6 months ago. Before this, I had a 2018 Shelby GT350R, which was a lot of fun, but I'd always wanted a performance blue one, and that car was black, and I just hated taking care of it. Looked great for about 5 minutes until it got dirty, but it was a really fun car. But I stepped up to the 2020 Shelby GT500 carbon fiber track pack. So this car, I bought it with 2,700 miles on it in September. And now I bought it in May. I bought it in May with 2,700 miles on it, and then now it has almost 6,000 miles on it.
Good for you.
So,
that's a fun summer.
It was. We put about 2,500 miles on it in one trip. My girlfriend and I took this out to the Shelby Mountain Run out at Tail of the Dragon, and we ran this 3 days in the mountains, did about 700 miles of mountain roads, twisties, and if nobody's familiar with the Tail of the Dragon, it's actually 318 turns in 11 miles of narrow mountain two-way traffic. And we did it with 120 other Shelbys and had a blast doing it. So I'm part of, you may have, when you're walking around over there, you might have seen some of the numbers up on the door, but that was from that mountain run. And we're part of Whiskey Group. So I gotta give a shout out to Whiskey Group, because it's broken up into six different groups. And Whiskey Group is all the guys with track experience, or the guys that are just a little off, like Ben. And so
Poor Ben.
so we took that out, and we were a Whiskey Group. It's a great time. So this is a fun car, and it's just completely different. This has 760 factory horsepower, but true dynoed, it's actually over 800. And I plan on doing a couple of other minor upgrades to it to get a little bit more out of it. I want to be able to hear the supercharger a little bit more.
Okay, number 5, the final car.
Number 5. This is the car I've had for the longest time, and the car I'll die with. So this is my 1992 Mustang GT. I bought this car brand new back in '92, and this was a birthday present for myself. And I had friends telling me that, oh, you'll be getting rid of it in 2-3 years, you'll be going with it in 4 years, and here we are several years later, and I still own it. So this car has about 27,000 miles on it, I think. But I've done everything with this car. I've drag raced this car. I've road raced this car extensively. I've done illegal things on the street with it. But this car also win car shows any given day. They didn't make very many of them. This color is titanium frost. I think they made 430 some of them in 92. And I was told recently that apparently this is even more rare because it has the equalizer in it, but I don't consider that to be a huge deal. Regardless, I'll die with this car, so it'll be up to my kids what they do with it. The license plate on it, finally a 5.0. That was because my first Mustang was an 88 4-cylinder. And all my buddies had 5.0s and IROCs and V8 cars and just ripped on me constantly. So when I finally got a 5.0, this is finally a 5.0. And the first thing I did with it is I had a coworker with a 5.7 IROC that just was relentless ripping on me. So as soon as I broke this in, we took it out behind the warehouses, and I taught him a lesson twice. And that was the last I heard from him. But it's amazing between these two cars. You think that back in 92, this was 225 horsepower, and that was huge horsepower. And you had the Cobra was 235 and the Corvette was 245, and that was a lot of horsepower. You know, now I have almost 800 horsepower in a production car. This car was actually mothballs for a really long time. I just took it out this year after it had been parked for almost 9 years, which, yeah, I know that's
a long time.
Sacrilege and it shouldn't be done, but I had other toys. So I just took it out this year for the first time, and just driving it up to a cruise and just remembering how fast I thought it was after driving this car and realizing it's not really that fast. So now this is just nostalgia. This is not a high horsepower car, but it's a high memory car, and I'll never get rid of it. That was my mom's baby. This is my baby. This car is, you know, all original with the exception of the wheels, and I converted it over to the Cobra 4-wheel disc, and I think it has a 2-inch drop spring on it. But I plan on putting some of the original parts back on it, although I like the look of the wheels, so those aren't going to change. I still have the original ponies. They're tucked away, but yeah, this car is going to stay pretty much original. I still have the window sticker on it. Oh, there's the window
Yes,
sticker.
you do. Wow.
Yeah, this is what $18,000 would get you back in 92.
That's amazing.
And if I remember right, I think I paid $16,500 for it and traded in my 88 for $2,500 on it. So I think I had $14,000 to buy this car and my old Mustang.
And what birthday present? What year was this for you? What birthday?
That was my 21st birthday.
21st. What? 21st
So that
birthday
makes
present?
me 43. Yes, definitely 43.
Thank you for watching another episode of Wicked Car Stories. Stay tuned as we will be bringing you more interesting car stories from around the Chicagoland area. Make sure to like and follow us on Facebook. Wicked Car Stories is brought to you by Duke's Drive-In Mokina, Fast Forward Race Cars, and Laura Oremus at Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group. We'll see you next time.